What are you looking forward to most about this film?
Well, I think I'm looking forward to cracking up.
Alright, gather round, everyone. We need to talk. I, maybe ran out of ideas. Usually, I start a video by making some big deal about the thing I'm reviewing, even though it's not really that significant. But I really couldn't do it for this video. You will see why. It's called hooking your viewers' attention, goddammit, which is why I opened this video with gather round. Like, we're not at a campfire. So, big round of applause for me for coming up with creative alternatives. What am I talking about again? I mean, I'm gonna be here for a while, so we might as well just get started. Alright, let's go! Whee! Grab a seat, we need to talk. This movie is ass. What's the matter with you kids? You never seen a dinosaur before? I was so surprised when I watched this movie, because it is rough. Because it is taking itself so seriously. Now, I could say that this movie has the worst inclusion of the human characters, but I would be lying. This movie doesn't have the worst inclusion of human characters. This movie has the worst inclusion of Godzilla, because he's not in the movie. He doesn't show up until like halfway through, he has like 10 minutes of screen time, and he just doesn't do anything. See, Gareth Edwards does this thing where he hides Godzilla, kind of like the shark in Jaws. And this is pretty effective for a movie like this. And when he does get revealed, it's...
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
But then, he just keeps doing it. We know what he looks like. There's no point in hiding him, you're just wasting time. I swear to God, there's multiple instances in this movie where you just forget you're watching a Godzilla movie. Because the first 45 minutes is just Walter White and the main character doing literally nothing. Also, the movie kills Walter White in, like, the stupidest way imaginable. Because, like, I thought he was, like, going into a coma or something, like, based on the character's reactions. But nope, he just died. The movie just straight up gaslighted me. Like, did the screenwriters change their minds halfway through filming the scene? This movie is also boring. Is that even allowed? Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to make a movie about this guy, but also make it boring? The simple change of swapping the Mutos and Godzilla's place in the story would make this movie so much better. Also, the climax sucks. Outside of like one cool sequence, the climax is just unengaging and like looks really ugly, and like there's zero stakes because I don't care about any of the characters. Maybe I'm hating on this movie too much, but this movie is just an ultimate culmination of what everything I don't want a MonsterVerse movie to be. Because the simple fact is that these movies are at their best when they are self-aware. Speaking of which... Oh yeah, this is my kind of movie. To get it out of the way, this movie is like the complete opposite of the last one. Because it does not take itself seriously at all. It is absolutely bonkers, but in a good way. The first 20 minutes are pretty exposition filled, but once you get past that, that's where you really start having fun. And that is because this movie, by far in the entire series, has the best action. But arguably more importantly, the consistency of the action. Every action sequence never drags too long, and it never ends too early. They're also always in a new location, and there's always a new type of wackiness to it. As a result, we get a movie that is never boring, which is very important after what we just watched. This movie just constantly stays fresh and engaging. And that's because this movie fully fully utilizes its setting. Every other movie like jumps around the world to like different cities that like all feel the same, but the smaller scale fixed setting works for this movie. And you gotta give credit to this movie for doing smaller scale for a movie about monsters this big. This is also by far the best looking MonsterVerse movie. It's also definitely shot the best, although this compliment does go for the entire series. These movies do have some nifty camera tricks, and I like it. I don't know, I just really like this movie, probably more than I should. It is without question the best in the series, and it's not really close. So while these movies won't get better than this one, they can't be that much worse, right? Right? Now this movie is special. This movie is the reason I made this video. Not because it's the worst one, and not because it's the best one, but because it is by far the most absolute insane one of them all. Godzilla King of the Monsters feels like the most baseline MonsterVerse movie. It feels like the starter pack of the series. I say this because this is the movie that definitely has the worst inclusion of the human characters. Like, as usual, they are so poorly written that it's honestly funny, but like, that happens a lot actually. Like, the humans in Skull Island are poorly written, but I feel like that was kind of the point? I don't think that movie cared about its human characters either. And ironically enough, and I'm embarrassed to admit it, but Madison and Emma are the only characters in this entire series whose names I can remember. Okay, I think it was Jeff, but I think I made that up and just called him that a lot. Oh, gee, pass. Oh, well, that's just Bernie. I know Bernie's name. Ooh, gee. It was something like Kurt, or it was Nate or something. What is it actually? Nathan. Good enough. So anyways, the plot of this movie follows MacGuffin Goober 6000. It basically makes the monsters do stuff. Somehow. And Emma uses it to make this really cool shot of Mothra. Thank you so much. But then Tywin Lannister shows up and murders everyone. Oh. We later find out that Tywin and Emma are working together, so why didn't she say like, hey, just a heads up, when you break into this top secret government facility of a giant massive organism, maybe don't murder my friends? I mean, she's the one teaming up with the terrorists to destroy the world, so like, what do I know? So anyways, they go to Antarctica and start to awaken Monster Zero. And you may say, isn't that idea incredibly irrational and stupid? Well, we're gonna get back to that. And then we get an action sequence that drags on for just way too long. It's like, oh no, Ghidorah is gonna kill the characters, but it's fine. Madison uses the MacGuffin Goober to stop it. Oh no, Ghidorah is gonna kill the characters, but it's fine. The good guys shoot missiles at it because that's somehow effective. Oh no, Ghidorah is gonna kill the characters, but it's fine. Godzilla shows up. Yeah, fight time. And the fight itself is not that good. For whatever reason, every single fight in this movie is set during night. Why? And the series is fully capable of pulling off a cool-ass fight during nighttime. Round 2 of Godzilla vs Kong is pretty cool because the setting is awesome. It's all lit up and everything. It makes for a really cool fight. But we're in the middle of Antarctica. Can you just set it in the daytime for once? Now, other than this one fight, this movie as a whole does look pretty good. And the plot of this movie has been pretty okay so far. Up until this scene. So Emma Zoom calls the main characters and gives the absolute worst reason imaginable for destroying the world. Alright, so you guys know how there's like overpopulation and pollution and like climate change. The Titans destroy cities, so we're gonna release all the Titans, murder everyone. Wait, what? So you guys know how in the last movie, like, an entire city got destroyed and, like, millions of people died? Yeah? Well, now there's plants. So Emma's plan is to release all the Titans so that they murder everyone so that more plants grow. In what universe was that ever going to work? This movie is gonna drive me insane. Can I just stop paying attention to the plot and show me something cool? Oh. Oh. Well, that's pretty dope. Yeah, this final battle isn't actually all that bad. It's a pretty cliche climactic final battle, but like, it's a Godzilla movie. It would be unfair to expect anything else. So Godzilla turns into a giant nuke and then absolutely decimates Ghidorah. And then Emma makes a Lion King reference and then dies. RIP. And the movie's over! Yay! So yeah, that wasn't terrible. I mean, to be honest, I thought it was gonna be awful. So let's watch the last movie now. This movie is okay, actually. I'm perfectly fine with this movie. I actually made a video on this movie, like, right when it came out, and everything I say in it is, like, very surface level and kind of dumb. Watching the entire MonsterVerse has really changed my perspective of how I view this movie, and it has made me appreciate it a lot more. But it's not just because this movie is a vast improvement of King of the Monsters. But while this movie is an improvement of the last one, it's still got some really dumb stuff. But that's for later in the video, so let's dive right in. So the first reason why I like this movie way more than I should is because the opening is just so cute. Every other MonsterVerse movie has such an upsetting and serious opening, but this movie opens with Kong waking up and showering under a waterfall. It's basically Shrek. And I love it. It's the first indication that this movie is way more self-aware than usual for this series. So anyways, Godzilla goes sicko mode and no one has any idea why. Maybe he just wants to be loved. Now get this, the story of this movie actually makes sense?
The prophecy is true.
So we have plot A and we have plot B. More specifically, we have the Kong plot and the Godzilla plot. Kong plot is mostly the main plot. We do spend a good majority of the movie on it. The Godzilla plot is awful. Oh my god, let me tell you about the Godzilla plot. Well, it's not actually a Godzilla plot. It's the Mechagodzilla plot. And do not get me started on Mechagodzilla. That's for later in the video. So basically, Madison and, who are you? Actually, don't answer that, I don't care. Basically, they spend a majority of the movie trying to find out why Godzilla is attacking everything. Bro, I don't care. They meet Bernie and he tells them, alright, we gotta go find this red ball that I saw. Alright, good idea. I think we should come up with a plan first, you know, sort of get an idea.
Breaking into Apex.
And we're leaving immediately. Okay, that's cool. Also, Madison is holding her phone upside down.
Meanwhile, the better subplot.
Oh, it's time. It's time for the fight. It's time for the fight that the movie's named after. And I gotta say, this fight slaps so hard. Except for the part where... Again, with the missiles, did you guys not watch the last movie? You should know by this point that that doesn't work. You guys are essentially slapping him with a napkin. So yeah, the fight doesn't drag on for too long, and I absolutely love that Kong gets his ass kicked. So they take Kong to Antarctica, and then we go into Hollow Earth. And I gotta say, it is absolutely gorgeous. We even get a short little fight down here. And then we cut back to... Oh my god. The Super Madison Bros make their way to Hong Kong. Don't ask how. It's really stupid. And they find Mechagodzilla. Despite the black hole of storytelling that will come from Mechagodzilla later in this movie, he looks awesome. But do worry, we're gonna get into that later. So Godzilla uses his atomic breath to blow through 4,000 miles of the Earth's crust into Hollow Earth. I mean, I'm not even gonna ask the question of what the fuck, but I have to admit, it is a really cool scene. So anyways, Madison finds the skeleton of the severed head of Ghidorah from the last movie. And basically, the bad guys are using it to remote pilot Mechagodzilla. I'm not even gonna make fun of that because it is definitely by far the least insane thing that the last act of this movie is gonna throw at us. So it's final battle time, yay! And yeah, it's pretty good. I like that Hong Kong is the setting for this final battle instead of, boring ass Chicago. So Godzilla wins and he kind of just leaves Kong to die, I guess. What was that? Oh, you thought the movie was over? No. We still have a long way to go. Alright class, pay attention because I want everyone to try to follow along. So Madison and her ragtag team of side characters confront the bad guy. So he's basically like, haha, I have Mechagodzilla so I can, well, I don't really know what he wants. The movie never tells us. And this movie would be so much better if this evil Lex Luthor guy was just replaced by Tywin Lannister. Because it's not like he died in the last movie, the post-credit scene was teasing the severed Ghidorah head. It shows up in this movie! So where is Tywin Lannister? This scene would have a lot more tension if it was Tywin because him and Madison had beef in the last movie. This would be a very dramatic reconfrontation for them, but instead we get... Who the hell is this guy, by the way? I actually looked up why he wasn't in the movie, and the answer I got was very shocking. I can't even say it out loud. You can read it for yourself. I hope you're still paying attention because this movie is about to go off the rails. So for whatever reason, out of literally nowhere, the dude who's autopiloting Mechagodzilla kind of just dies. The computer just malfunctions for no reason, so now the consciousness of the dead Ghidorah has possessed Mechagodzilla. How? I don't know. The movie doesn't care, so I guess we're not supposed to care. Now, would you believe me if I told you that that is not the most insane thing that this movie is gonna pull? Oh yeah, it's final battle time. That's right, there's 2 final battles. And Mechagodzilla has missiles built into it. So Madison and the side characters are like, oh no, we gotta do something. And you're never gonna believe how they shut down Mechagodzilla. So they're trying to hack into the computer to shut him down, but they can't. So then the side character takes Bernie's whiskey, pours it on the computer, and that's what shuts Mechagodzilla down. What the fuck? So Kong and Godzilla absolutely decimate Mechagodzilla, and then they just kind of yell at each other, and then Godzilla just pieces out. And now the movie is over, and so is the video. As a whole, I would describe this series as fun. You have to judge them differently than you do other movies, and with the right mindset, they can be wildly entertaining. Not every movie has to have a story with a deep message and realistic, complex characters. Some movies, you just get to watch a giant lizard beat the shit out of a giant monkey. And that's a beautiful thing about cinema. Your movie doesn't have to be good. And we are getting a 5th MonsterVerse movie in March of 24. And oh boy, I am so excited for that. Also, I almost forgot, here's the ranking of the movies. So please, like and subscribe, and have a good rest of your whatever day of the week you're watching this on. Unless it's a Tuesday, in which case, I can't help you.